Okay. Hello everybody. My name is Roseanne Franklin, and I'm doing a speech, a process speech for my PS Class 101, and I'm going to inform you about how to make a pot of coffee. As you can see, I have a very small coffee maker here to assist me, and that's probably basically all I'm going to be using, except for some little notes that I have taken. And I'm going to start out first by telling you how I came to this topic. I was out with my daughter and my mother, and we were having breakfast at a restaurant. My mother and I ordered coffee, my daughter ordered Coke. And so at the end of the meal, she decided that she wanted to take a taste of my coffee, and she ended up, I just drink it with cream, and she ended up not liking it too much. Well, then she took another cup of coffee and she added a flavored cream, which I suggested to her, and it was the French vanilla. And she is now addicted to caffeine coffee, and she'll only drink it with the French vanilla creamer. So that is about how I became to talk about this topic. And when one day she asked me, I was on my way to work and she had gotten up and she asked me if I had made her a pot of coffee, and I said, no, you're going to have to make it yourself. So she says, but I don't know how do I make this coffee? And so I figured, it just hit me that this is going to be my topic. The first thing you should know about coffee is that coffee is a stimulant, and it can increase your heart rate. And so for elderly people or people that have heart conditions or anything like that, I would suggest that you check with your doctor to make sure that it is okay for the substantial amount of coffee or the caffeine that you're going to be taking in or digesting. They could also refer you to decaf, which is decaffeinated coffee, if you have any heart conditions that may require less caffeine intake. But on a positive side, caffeine is, as I said, a stimulant, and it can increase the memory ability. And it has been proven to help people with Alzheimer's to increase their memory. And it has also, it's mostly used by college students or anyone that is kind of like trying to stay awake or acquire more energy than they do have, and which coffee does. When you're making your coffee, water, which some people may not think of a high factor or anything like that, but it is. I was living where I had well water, and well water affects the taste of your coffee. It affects it in a very poor manner. So if you do have well water, I would suggest using bottled water. Bottled water compared to regular tap water is going to increase the flavor anyway. Use cold water versus hot water or warm water. The colder your water is when you're putting it into the coffee maker, the hotter your coffee is going to become as a finished product. You fill your coffee pot, which is here, with the desired amount of water that you're going to be wanting as coffee. And this is just a small pot, but it also has measurements on the side of the pot that you can also use. Then, once you fill it with your water, you're going to pour it into, usually there is a compartment and it holds the water. So you want to pour it into the compartment with the water compartment or whatever, and then shut the lid on that. While your pot is off, it's probably easiest to pull out your basket. This is what holds the coffee filter, and it's just a little basket here. You might want to try to rinse out your coffee. Keep this basket as clean as possible because that will increase the flavor. You won't have any of the old residue from the grounds before or the previous pot. So, usually rinse it out before making a fresh pot, and always keep your pot clean also. Remove this basket, put the coffee filter inside. There's different sizes of coffee filters, so make sure that you get the correct size for the coffee filter, because this can also, the right size will prevent any kind of ground seeping in or overflow or anything like that into your coffee. Once you have the filter in the place of the basket, then you're going to put your coffee grounds. There's many different coffees. I like the mild blend. It's a breakfast blend. It's by Folgers, I believe it is. It's either Folgers or Maxwell House that I usually go with. And I usually only drink coffee in the morning. My daughter, on the other hand, drinks coffee throughout the day. It doesn't bother her. As I said, it is a stimulant, so with me, it always affects people differently, each individual. And so with me, I find it that if I drink any kind of caffeine at night, I'm up all night. I have a problem sleeping. So I try to get the smoothest and the less strongest blend. You take the coffee grounds, scoop it out. Usually it's maybe a tablespoon to a cup of coffee. Scoop it out, put it into your filter that's inside the basket. Stick it inside, back inside. Make sure this is in properly. If it's not in properly, as you can see right here, there's a space and a gap. If it's not in properly, you will have a disaster upon you. This will overflow, the water will flow into your coffee pot. You'll have nothing but grounds as you drink your first sip. After you place this back in properly, make sure that the pot is in the groove, okay, so that it's not tilted or slanted to prevent any more spillage on the countertop. And then you just flip on the switch, which is right here, the on switch. Usually on these coffee makers, they usually have like a holding time of maybe an hour to 2 hours, depending on the coffee maker. It should state in your instructions and your manual. And then it'll automatically shut off. So you don't have to worry that if you have rushed out of the house or anything like that, you didn't leave the coffee, if you left the coffee pot on, it's automatically going to shut off. Basically, that's about it on how to make a perfect pot of coffee. So, and then creamers, like I said, my daughter likes the French vanilla creamers. You can buy half and half, whole creamer, powdered creamers. So it just depends on the individual's taste and your needs and specifications. If, like I said, you can experiment. I like Cremora, the powdered, and so she likes the, it doesn't matter if it's powdered or liquid, on the French vanilla. They have the hazelnut and a lot of other flavors too that can be used in it. And basically that's about it. So I really thank you and appreciate all of your attending my speech, and I'll probably use you on my next one.